Well, hello everybody, and welcome to another one of these impromptu live streams. So, things are not looking good, are they? Let's all be brutally honest here. After the debacle in the House of Commons last night, and the fact that it is now blatantly obvious that our politicians are doing things because they're scared, because they're appeasing people, because they won't stand up for anything or anybody, because we're getting involved in a vote on a thing that needs to be left alone. It's got nothing to do with us whatsoever, especially when our country is in such a horrible and terrible state. Things are not good. Things are getting very out of hand very, very quickly. We have a vote on a ceasefire in Gaza that was hijacked by the Speaker, was hijacked by Labour, because everybody is absolutely in that house scared to death to be seen not to be doing what the mob want. There is a level of hate towards the Jewish people which I've not seen ever. There is a feeling between one particular group, the Free Plasticine movement, that they're right and they will bully their way into whatever they want. In my opinion, the second you give in to these idiots, Britain will fall. It's right on the cusp right now. After last night, we are literally right on the edge. We're teetering. Because if we give in, if the politicians give in to these horrible, disgusting human beings and kowtow to their demands, Britain falls. Now, some people might say it's not that bad. It is literally that bad. We are in a situation now where you can actually, in real time, watch this country collapse because we're too busy appeasing and not leading. We don't have leaders in this country anymore. We have appeasers. We have people who are only self-serving. We haven't had a decent leader in this country for years, and it's showing. Last night, what happened in the House of Commons just shows how weak we are. And it's not because of the public, it's because of our elected members who won't have the balls to stand up to anyone unless it suits them, and will now sit quite happily in a situation where they're quite happy to let this country disintegrate into nothing because they won't stand up to anybody or anything. It's hard to say. It's frightening to say. I'm scared for my children. I'm scared for everything at the moment because we are so on the blink. We really, really are. It's unbelievable. When you get a tweet like this and this happening on there, where, as it says, a genocidal chant about Jewish people was projected onto Big Ben last night, whilst we heard reports of Labour MPs feeling intimidated and threatened by the pro-Palestine mob. This was allowed to happen. This was allowed to go ahead. This was acceptable because every single one of their marches, which are nothing but hate, incitement, and supporting of terrorist organisations, has been allowed to happen right here in this country. There was, in the last one, a gentleman who held up a sign which was just telling the truth that the police should support, which is Hamas is a terrorist organisation. Yes or yes. And guess what happened? Yeah, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. He got arrested. Hail the time prophet. Welcome on board, sir. So, yeah. So we have that going on. And then what I'm going to do is keep showing you this is just on X or Twitter, now, because a lot of people really need to get a grip of how bad the situation is, because it's just not right. And here we have Constantine, and he sums it up quite rightly. He genuinely does. Where he says, yesterday the British Parliament changed the way it operates because the Speaker, only in my desktop don't actually work for a change. Nice one. The Americans will be all in bed now. This is very true. They will. But to be fair, the Americans don't give a monkeys about this, really, to be fair, because they're in the same sort of boat, but not as bad as this. So, yesterday, the British Parliament changed the way it operates because the Speaker was afraid of some parliamentarians could be murdered if they could seem to vote for a ceasefire in the war on the other side of the world. Just let that sink in for a moment. Yeah. This isn't democracy. This country is unwilling to live by its own rules in order to placate a violent mob, the free plasticine movement, the horrible, nasty, evil people. Constantine makes a lot of sense. He really does. I've only just, well, in the last year, started to listen to this dude, and people should, because he really does speak the truth. He makes a lot of sense. But then again, so many people do, and so many people are cancelled and ignored for it. Any case, let's carry on what he had to say. And efforts are already being made to sweep this reality under the carpet as they did with the murder of Sir David Ames. Correct. We can't afford that. We have to be honest and admit it. Yeah, because what happened then last night literally means that this country is about to come. Islam is taking over Britain. Yeah, it's simple as that. Because this is last night was a kowtow to the violent mob, as Constantine says. Let's carry on. We have a problem with Islamist extremism that requires immediate and drastic action. Correct. Appeasement does not work. It never has. We appeased Hitler, apparently. Strangely, he's come in, doesn't have to make it up anymore. I know, sad, isn't it? Appeasement doesn't work. We appeased, apparently, Hitler. Remember, in the beginning of World War II, did that appeasement work? No, because appeasement never works. If intimidation and threats of violence produce results like the one we saw yesterday, this will only encourage more intimidation and threats of violence. We are bowing down to a hate mob. Our country's entire democracy is being torn apart by a hate mob. So I think we should all be seriously worried. You should be seriously concerned. The government, both major parties, the police and security services need to understand we no longer have the luxury of pretending this issue away. Correct. Last night brought this to a head. We're in trouble. We're in deep, deep, deep trouble. And to think this channel used to talk about gaming and stuff. I can't do that anymore because this is getting ridiculous. People who have threatened violence should be arrested and locked up for a very long time. Correct. If the threats are directed against elected MPs, then it's an attempt to subvert our democracy and should be treated as such, i.e., met with severe sentences. Correct. Time profit. Trouble is, when Hitler was around, we had men to fight back against him. We have now been taken over from the inside. I absolutely agree. I've got a video coming up about how the army's been destroyed from the inside out, which be interesting to see how people feel. But the simple truth of the matter is, there are some of us who are still prepared to fight. But unfortunately, those of us who are prepared to fight are portrayed as the enemy and attacked and humiliated and cancelled. Foreign nationals who engage in and call for the fund or glorify violence, religious hatred, or any violent extremism should be deported immediately. And if you are white and you've lived here and you now support this bullshit, you should be locked away for a long, long time. Because you have no idea what you're doing. You think it's about, oh, people in Gaza. Just to get it out there, people in Gaza are getting what they deserve. You can't kick a hornet's nest and then complain when the hornets sting you, for one. For two, it's got nothing to do with us. Our house, where we live, is in a mess. Before we start going all over the world and telling everybody else how they should behave, perhaps we should get our shit sorted out first. Because that's what's important. Once you've got your own house in order, then you can go out and say something. We must be honest with ourselves. If we do not act now, as sadly I am certain we won't, the result will be more violence, more intimidation. It's not a pleasant truth, I have to admit but things are only going to get worse if we refuse to speak it. And that's what needs to be done. There are hundreds and hundreds of thousands, millions of this so called silent majority who say nothing. Britain is about to fall. Our democracy was subverted by a hate mob for a conflict that's got nothing to do with us whatsoever. Genuinely, this isn't ours. This isn't our fight, and we shouldn't be bullied into by people to do something about it. It's nothing to do with us. It really genuinely isn't. Time profit. God knows what will happen if these university kids go up and take power. They will. That's another problem. This has been coming for years. People like me and many, many others have been telling you this has been coming for years. And we're far right, we're evil, we're terrible, we're racist, we're xenophobic, we're a hate mob. Do you see us, or have you seen us forcing a thing in Parliament to be pretty much destroyed because we insisted it? Yeah, exactly. Wake up, everyone. Please wake up. And then you get things like this, which again doesn't help. Lord Cameron, the dickhead who shouldn't even be back in power because dictator Sunak brought him back in. He's got the brass balls to stand there and do that. Stop fighting right now in Gaza. It's got fuck all to do with you, son. It's got nothing to do with us. How about you sort out our homeless problem? How about you sort out in fact, just sort our entire country out. Sort out all the illegal immigrants. You know, all those people you're importing who are now on the streets telling you to do what you're going to do. And there you are kowtowing to them, selling this country down the river because of this. How is that acceptable? Lord Cameron's called for a stop of fighting right now in Gaza rather than an all-out Israeli offensive Rafah. The Foreign Secretary said violence should pause straight away. Except it's acceptable in this country. Yeah? It's acceptable for what you did, what happened last night, where everybody's terrified. You're terrified. I mean, we had one MP. Oh, Dave Thomas. I've got a new anthem for the Rising Army come out tomorrow night, Dave Thomas on YouTube. Dave's good. Dave's the guy who puts the music at the beginning of the live streams. He's a great, got some great songs. You should go over to his channel and listen to it. And Dave, as soon as it comes out, mate, I'll bang it out because something we do really genuinely need to do something. So you got Lord Cameron just pops back into politics because the dictator that is Rishi Sunak allows it to happen. And he's already banging on about, oh, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. Then we get this. I mean, basically, I'm just showing just a few things that I've spotted on Twitter this morning. It's just, and this is absolutely true. What a disgusting spectre. Oh, this is Burn to AK Boy or Burn to Acker Boy, whatever. Good lad. Lawrence Fox retweeted this. Somebody else who got in. No worries, Dave. You're welcome. What a disgusting spectacle in the House of Commons this evening. These MPs who have no solutions for the problems faced by their constituents, no remedy for poverty, no answer to the housing crisis, no fix for the energy crisis, no big ideas for the economic crisis, think what they have the right to hold forth on a foreign war. Fuck off. Correct. You can't even fix the potholes in your local community. Never mind fixing decades-long war in the Middle East. The Gaza crisis is being used as a soapbox for moral preening by politicians desperate to deflect attention from their own utter uselessness. It is beyond cynical. How about doing your job of improving the British people's lives and leaving Israel to finish the job against Hamas? Which is what I was saying. We need to get our own house in order before we start banging on about other people's problems. We're in trouble. Last night was a warning. And those idiots, those violent hate mob who can do whatever they want and get away with it, which is why they keep doing it. They keep doing it because they keep getting emboldened because no one dares go, no, fuck off. You can't do that. No, no more. But we've emboldened them. We've allowed them to do this and keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it. Meanwhile, importing more and more of their ranks. I thought Hamas was a Mexican food. Yeah, if only they were, mate. Instead, they're a sick, evil society, people. As I said, you kick a hornet's nest, don't come moaning when the hornets sting you, especially when the hornets. Britain has already fallen. Hello, Paz. Welcome aboard. Yeah, mate. I'm afraid, as sad as it seems, really has, hasn't it? And it's painful. I mean, both you and I have stood on the wall to protect this fair, wonderful, once wonderful country, and it's killing me. It genuinely is killing me. And I've got young kids, and I'm terrified for them now. Every day, I'm more and more terrified for them. I genuinely am. I've got, two really young kids. You know, and it hurts because I'm genuinely worried for them. I mean, I'll defend them as to to the ends of the earth. I really will. I genuinely will. Defend them to the ends of the earth. It's This is horrible. And what happened tonight? Well, sort of say last night. Unbelievable. I'm a kind of guy. I wear my heart on my sleeve. And I've seen stuff, and we all have, and this is really getting me worried. It really is getting me worried. It's frightening. It's frightening to see how things have gone. It really has. It has gone unbelievably bad. And then, of course, you get this wonderful thing. There you go. UK threat level is now substantial. And Northern Islands is now gone, or islands is gone up to severe. And just in case you don't know what that means, just to give you a general idea, substantial and severe. Birmingham got taken over a long time ago. They're taking over. Oh well, I can. Well, Time Prophet. We live in the same area. You've seen it move. I live just off the Coventry Road, and Small Heath is where the biggest collection is, and you can see it slowly moving up the Coventry Road, slowly but steadily. I mean, where I live here, I've got just literally just down the Coventry Road. There's already 4 Turkish barbers. No one needs their hair cut that much. It's it's terrible. It's terrifying. All the big countries have gone. What have I missed this time? Hello, Crawbab. Oh, just our entire democracy being destroyed by hate mobs because they couldn't vote on the ceasefire in Gaza because they were all too scared. Yeah, Wolverhampton looks like it. Yeah, I know. Wolverhampton's gone. Dudley's as bad. Let's be honest. It is every major city's the same. And the thing is, what makes it even worse is I genuinely I like people how they are. I judge everyone how I see them and how they treat me. I give everybody the benefit of the doubt because we're all humans. But when they're doing this, when they're they've now attacked our democracy and tore it apart based on terror. How is that acceptable? How is that acceptable? Just one more screen because I could just keep going sharing these screens. Yeah, then pretty much, mate. But it's getting a lot worse, and this is worrying. And then we get this. Gareth has posted this a quote by Douglas Murray on the 8th, 11th, 23. The police in the UK have failed. It's now time to send in the army. But if the army will not be sent in, the public will have to sort this out themselves. It'll be very brutal because the soul of England is about to be trampled on. Well, yeah. But don't ask the army. Because what army? And as I said, I'm bringing up a video very shortly about how the army's been or has been completely destroyed from the inside out, because it has. The British Army, the British military in general is destroyed. And as for the public being sorted out, yeah, this is the biggest problem. Eventually, you are going to get a pushback. Eventually, it may be too late for that pushback, but there will be a pushback at some time. Eventually, it's going to kick over. The trouble is it's illegal to form a militia in Britain. Yeah, they took all our guns off us as well, remember? But the thing is, no, we don't need to form a militia. It will happen. There are militias. What's the point in sending the army if well, there is no point. The army's no good. As critical as it sounds, it really is. It's no good. I mean, I've got my, armed forces veteran card now. What was the point in that? What was the point in all that? To be fair, I mean, I sit here, I look at this, and I read this, and I saw this happening last night, but I was too tired to do anything. Um, what's it all worth? What are we doing? What are we fighting for? What is that exactly happening? We're in such a mess. It's just unbelievably painful. It really is. Yeah, indeed. So I'm looking at my Twitter feed going on. It's just, what do we do? What can we do? All we're doing is sitting here, and a lot of us are speaking out. I mean, a lot of us are trying desperately to speak out, but of course, like I'm doing this on Rumble because at least I know on Rumble this will stay. I don't get many viewers on Rumble, and most of my viewers are on YouTube. It's just MPs capitulated, free plus C mob broke the rules as they do and demand. That's where we are now. God help us all. Absolutely, mate. 100% agree. We are in serious trouble. And the problem is most of the civvies will be sitting watching Morning Live or whatever, and won't care because, of course, the media will kind of cover this, but obviously they'll spin it their way. Yeah, they'll always spin it their way. But we're in trouble. We are really, really, really in trouble. I'm just going to read just quickly out here something that's come on my message. I'm going to read it out. It's by my good friend John the White, and he's very good at these things. I'm just read what he's put. He put on Wednesday lunchtime, Keir Starmer was facing the biggest crisis of his career. Earlier in the week, he'd been warned that as many as 100 of his MPs, including at least 2 of his shadow cabinet, were willing to rebel by voting for an immediate ceasefire in Gaza unless Labour brought forward one of its own amendments calling for one. Having agreed to publish exactly such an amendment, the Labour leader now faced another hurdle, the Commons Speaker, Lindsay Hoyle, who was being advised not to pick it and instead call for a different one from the government. Hours away from the biggest rebellion of his leadership, Starmer decided to intervene personally and visit Hoyle in his office behind the Houses of Commons chamber. They can spin it all they like. We saw what happened. We know what's going on. Exactly. Oh, hello. Captain Meow's arrived. So, quick look, see what I'm doing. On those briefed on the meeting said the Labour leader warned Hoyle that Labour MP's security was at risk. There you go. Security was at risk. Labour spent all its time bowing down to the Muslim vote. They're now paying the price. Many have been deluged by criticisms, threats, and abuse since abstaining from a similar SNP motion in November. The darkest before the light. Problem is, I can't see the light, and I'm also really worried that the light is actually an oncoming train. Folk are busy accepting convenient lie as opposed to inconvenient truth. People don't want to listen to the truth. The truth has now become worse than a lie. Labour are bowing down to Islam because Labour imported the votes through immigration. Correct. That's exactly what they're doing. They're still doing it now. Thing is, it's a waste of time debating and voting on Gaza ceasefires. We have absolutely no influence over there. It's all virtual signalling. Exactly. I mean, I see them like there's ones in America where, the Manhattan Council has voted 15-1 for a ceasefire in Gaza. It's got fuck all to do with them. Literally nothing to do with them. They're not going to listen. Something that people need to get through their heads is, after what happened, Israel is not going to listen to anything They're going to do what they want to do because it was their country that had that happen to them. So they're going to do it, and they are not going to listen to anyone, no one, and rightfully so. If the same similar thing happened here, we'd do the same. And don't say we wouldn't. Well, actually, no, we probably wouldn't. We'd probably have a big, serious chat about it in the House of Commons and get nowhere. Any case, carry on with this. After a tense meeting with the Labour MPs desperately stalling inside the chamber, Hoyle eventually agreed. As the Gaza debate started, the Speaker announced he would call both Labour and government amendments, prompting fury on the government and SNP benches and huge relief on Labour ones. Stupid numpty party, that's what SNP stands for. Correct. Absolutely correct. So in elections, it's a choice between the blue Communist Party and the red Communist Party. It always has been. This is the problem. We've always believed that we have had a choice, and we basically haven't. We've literally had nothing. My friend John's just tweeted the UK is on officially substantial severe threat level, and the plot is letting Hamas supporters spaff their call for genocide at Big Ben, while Parliament is bent out of shape because MPs fear they're extremist. I'm going to carry on reading the rest of it. There we go. I'll bring that up actually. Let's share that screen so I can show you what John's saying. There you go. It's substantial there. MPs for extremist constituents. Is anyone in charge still in this country? That is a very World War III before 2025. It's World War III. You can see that they're determined to get this war to kick off. They're determined to get this war to kick off because it solves so many problems, just like most wars do. But the problem is, I mean, a lot of people, I see some people, flag waving here on the, oh, we'll fight the Russians. I don't think a lot of people understand that if we have World War III, and as Time Prophet is right, World War IV will be fought with sticks and stones because we are all going to die. World War III will be nuclear Armageddon. So why are we pushing for it? Why are we sending to? Why are certain people allowed to? MPs for extremists, they let the buggers in the first place. Well, yeah. Again, this is what people have been saying. People have been saying this over and over and over again. But of course, we're just racists. They are cowards. MPs are cowards because they're not about leading anymore. They're not about representing us. They're about their own interests. That's all they care about. What happened in Parliament last night was attempts to appease and secure the Muslim vote. Yeah, Keir had something to do with stop Muslim. Exactly. To stop Muslim MPs being openly anti-Semitic and damaging his party. 100% right. Remember that Labour Party got rid of that anti-Semitic, rooted that out. Unless, of course, they're Muslim MPs who will just come out and say it. And don't forget, we've also got judges who are letting people off because of their belief systems. Our justice system is flawed. Our police are, to be fair, I'm not going to go too much on the police because I know why the police are not doing anything, and it's because they're outnumbered. The police have been cut back and cut back and cut back and cut back, and now there are not enough of them to do anything really. And I know this. Just take my word for it. I know this first-hand experience, know the information, know people in the police, know the trouble that they're suffering from. The police are in trouble. They know they haven't got the numbers. They can't do anything. And if they do something, the idiots in charge, these cowardly MPs and lawyers, will make sure that they get screwed for it. We have no military whatsoever to speak of anymore because it's been destroyed and eroded from the inside out. The British Army is pointless. The Navy can't send out ships. The Air Force has barely got enough planes, and those that it has got haven't got pilots to fly for because of an active ban on white male pilots by the RAF, which they finally eventually got caught for, but it's too late now. Our police force is just about there. Our armed forces are just about there. So who are you gonna call? Ghostbusters? It's gonna come down to, quite rightly, us lot eventually getting sick to the back teeth of it. I mean, somebody, I think it was Time Prophet says you can't have a militia. There are militias. They're called football fans. About 5 or 6 active officers in Peterhead. If things kicked off here, they'll be all done before. Well, this is the problem. The problem is the police haven't got anything. Well, I rephrase that. They have got it in all the wrong places. They have got it when they're appeasing hate crime, hate crime. Somebody calling somebody a name over the internet. They've got plenty of officers to do that. But frontline officers down on the street, no. They just haven't. That's why when you pick up the phone and scream for them, they can't come because they just. And remember that even with these numbers, if they arrest somebody and it has to be done, they have to go through the process. That team's off. Those two officers are going. They're gone for the whole day. The whole shift could be taken up with one incident, and then if you had 10, you're now down to 8, and then they arrest somebody, and then you're down to 6, and then you're down to 4, and then the shit hits the fan, and there's a major incident, and then there's no one. And don't call the army because we're no good. It's not anymore. The thing is, we used to be one of the greatest militaries in the world. Everybody looked up to us. Now we're third rate at best, and it's getting worse. This current situation that's going on right now in the United Kingdom. If you can't see what it's for, if you can't see what's happening, I've called police many times over the years. They never come. I guarantee you something nasty on Twitter, 8 will show up. That's the problem, as I said. Yeah, they've got them all in the wrong place. And what are they doing? Appeasement, for all intents and purposes, to keep the local communities quiet. Those local communities who will turn on them in a dime, who will chase them out, who will spit on them, who will throw the race card every time they get pulled over or get caught doing something stupid and wrong and illegal. Growing up in the late 19th, early 20s, northeast, bobbies were on the beat every day and night. Now I see none. Zero, diddly squat. Correct. Where I live right here, I mean, the house I grew up is like just around the back. Although I've, spent time out of country, come back here and live here now. When I used to live here, I could even take you to the house now where our local copper used to live. There is actually, well, not anymore, 3 coppers' houses for the local coppers. PC Plant, it was called. No, Great Britain is not looking great some more. We lost the great title years ago. And we also lost the United Kingdom bit as well, because this isn't a united country. I've never known this country so divided ever. Ever, ever. And it's been specifically done to divide us. They're tearing us apart piece by piece. And the sheep, the loose women crowd, just don't fucking see it. They won't listen. Too many people have their heads buried in the sand. You can see this quite clearly. You don't even have to go on Twitter or even on Facebook or anything like that. You go out on the streets. I don't let my kids go into Birmingham city centre on a night out anymore, or even genuinely, because it's just too damn dangerous. I don't go into Birmingham city centre. It's too dangerous. They own the city centres. You daren't go in there. I mean, I'm a Birmingham City fan. Yeah, I know, before you all start the abuse. And I used to go to the Blues all the time. I don't now because I have to walk through Small Heath. Forget that. Just forget that. I'm not doing it. It's just too dangerous. Divide and fall through brainwash TV. Yes, Dave. Not just the TV though, is it? It's not just TV. It's media. The media lies continually. And I used to, foolishly, used to believe until 9/11. And then the cracks started to appear. And the more you look into it now, the more we just get lied to. We get lied to by the media. The media only give you what they want to see. I mean, you imagine, I haven't even seen, because I try not to watch the news because it's just, I'd rather watch some other fictional piece of shit. But they'll spin this something else. They'll make it it's the Conservative Party or it's this or it's that, and they'll just blame each other. And we're all sitting here watching our country just disintegrate. In fact, let's be brutally honest. I'll go into them because they're stupid car charges. Well, yeah, except of course, just to give you a little bit of info on that, Birmingham City Council, the one that's gone bankrupt because it's run by Labour. Surprise, surprise. It's gone bankrupt. They're now going to, over the next 2 years, raise council tax by 21%. That's right. The poor taxpayer, the person who lives there, has got to pay even more now for their fuck ups. But even better, they're tearing all the services away. So you're paying literally 21% more for 40% less services. But as the stupid car charges, Birmingham City Council last year waived 240,000 car charges because certain members of society just refused to pay, so they writ them off. Sorry, not writ, wrote. Terrible English, do apologise. Sex Pistols woke me up in 1977. I understand that. Still watching the Sharp series, full of great British actors. Yeah, back in when the British were great at being in the army and ruling the world. And the thing is, I can sit here and say all this, and I haven't got a solution. Well, I have. I think we've all got our solutions, but of course, we're not allowed to say them because we're racist, we're xenophobic, we're far right. Remembering that you're far right, literally, you can be centre left now, and you're far right. I don't know. I don't know what we can do. I genuinely do not know what we can do. It's almost though taxation's a racket. Who knew? I know, amazing, isn't it? It's like the force to get us all to have electric cars, because the whole idea of getting an electric car is 6 years later when the battery gets flat, you won't be able to afford one, and then you won't have a car. Do you think giving up closing was a bad idea? No. Well, actually, no. You know what? Maybe it was, but no, no, it's not right to impose your will upon another country. That's. I mean, that's fair enough. We did our bit, and we improved every single country that we went into. To be fair, they wouldn't have hardly anything now if we hadn't have been there and done it. But they've got their countries back now. The problem is for some other reason that's not good enough, and we have to pay in reparations. I mean, I've got to pay. Apparently, we've got to pay reparations for things that my relative may or may not have done 800 years ago. Because instead of striving to be better, they'll just milk off us. I don't have any excuses, or the EV may explode at first. Well, this is true. Your electric car probably will burst into flames and destroy your house as well if it's in a garage. Brilliant ideas. But as I said, we are definitely, definitely in danger. Well, I mean, we've been in dangerous times, but after last night in the Parliament, we're in serious trouble. We really, really are in serious trouble. Just having a quick through. They got their country back, and yet they want to come over here. Well, this is it. I just don't get it. I'm just going to share this as well again from John, which is true. I mean, it is the Guardian, and it's true. You can't make this. The Guardian goes to print, spinning it as a good thing that Parliament caved to the mob outside. So the media, as I said quite correctly, the media are already spinning it as something somehow amazing. I mean, because Keir Starmer averted a Gaza ceasefire fight crisis by destroying Parliament. And that's what I read out with John earlier. So it's just there. Does Rome pay reparations for its former empire? Well, of course not. Just a quick one. Dave's here. He does have a gig on the 4th of May at the Barn and Milton Arms in Portsmouth. If you want to go down and listen to some cool music, crack on over there. Just get that shout out there for you, John. No worries at all. Sorry, not John, Dave. So there you go. It's literally the media are already spinning it. Already spinning it that it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. It's I mean, anyway, I've got another thing to share here. We'll share this one as well because I might as well keep. No, I haven't got anything selected. What am I doing? I need to do this first. But this is absolutely true as well. We've walked into this. Julian Hartley Brewer reacts to outrageous scenes taking place across the country influenced by Islamist ideology and backed up by idiots, backed up by moronic idiots. Highly political, highly violent ideology called Islamism is sweeping the nation. Well, yeah. And then Carl Benjamin, absolutely right. We didn't sleepwalk into it. Many people raised the alarm over the preceding decades, and they were shouted down as racists and xenophobes, despite the harm it was causing to regular people. Now the problem has reached Westminster. Political class has reluctantly recognised it. It's not the end of the world, but you can see it from here. To be honest, I, I don't know. I don't know what to say. I don't know the solution to this problem. Well, I mean, we do, but no one's thing is. I'm gonna share this one as well, if you don't mind, Paz. I'm gonna bring this one up because this is what you said is right. Absolutely right. Jess Phillips. Now she's a Labour MP, literally just up the road, um, Yardley, which is like for me driving probably 5-6 minutes up the road. To say I'm ashamed of my workplace today would be an understatement. Saying we're all fucking ashamed of you lot is an understatement. And Paz is absolutely right. Either the MPs are bought and paid for by radical Islamists or they're shit scared of them. Absolutely. Either way, they do not represent the UK, never have done. Their constituents or our interests. What's happening in Gaza should be the last thing they're debating and voting on. 100% correct. 100% correct. As I've said many times in this particular live stream and on other times, when it all comes down to it, we need to get our own house in order first. Sort our own shit up first. Enoch Powell was a prophet. Yeah, he was. And look how he got treated. And even the, you know, mention of his name still goes, oh, Enoch Powell. But he was right. It's just took a lot longer to get there because we ignored him. But we've ignored all the other people who have been trying to tell us this for decades. Ostracized, cancelled, destroyed, removed, eliminated. You know, I mean, there are some things that Tommy Robinson says I don't agree with, but the simple truth of the matter is what he was saying, if you just take it down to his base, was absolutely right. There you go. That's me far right again. Oh, I already know. Yeah, my impression of the masses, yeah, fast asleep. Wakey wokey. I got banned for playing live Oxford by quoting Enoch Powell. Really, I can believe it, mate. Because people still see him as this mental racist. This unbelievable. Oh, hold on. Let's shut that down. Getting feedback off the other one. So, yeah, unbelievable. I can believe you got banned. So, what do we do? Historically and biblically, the prophets were never treated well. And yet, yeah, amen to that. Amen to that. Have you noticed how Islamic people are allowed to carry religious knives? It's the law, but we're not allowed to carry any weapons. Mm, that's the Sikhs. I'm sure the Sikhs are allowed to carry kirpans, which are knives. As for Islamic people, I don't think they are. But I know Sikhs are allowed to carry kirpans. That's because when I worked at the airport, we were, yeah, kirpan's one of those things, but you still can't carry it on a plane. So I think it's all by design. All the things going on. Oh, hello, Sheer Wall. Immigration is a cover for financial cock-ups over the last 13 years. Enoch and Tommy are spot on. I have to agree. We've been so far right. Yeah, exactly. We have been so far right. We've been right on what we've been saying. But then again, I'm white and old, so it's my fault in any case. A very good reason why countries like Egypt and Jordan will not allow refugees from Palestine into their countries. In the past, when they did, it caused misery and bloodshed. Just do a quick search. I know Gurkhas are, absolutely. Just have a quick search about what's happening to Japan now when they've finally given into the World Economic Forum pressure and allowed some Muslims in. And guess what? Their violent crime's gone up in Japan. Go out, head out shopping, catch you all later. Thanks for popping on, Crawl. Thanks for dropping in. Very much appreciated, mate. In fact, I'm appreciated to all of you who've popped in to watch this, listen to what I'm having to say, even if a lot of people probably won't agree with a lot of saying, but you know what? This is what it is. A lot of us need to speak. We need to speak out more. Now, I know a lot of people aren't going to agree with what I'm having to say, and you know what? That's absolutely awesome. That's fine. I'll defend your right to say that, but the simple truth of the matter is, I don't care. We've got to a stage now where we can't keep, well, not we, we've been all saying it for a long time, where you can't pretend this is going to go away. You can't bury your head in the sand anymore. You cannot ignore this anymore. Stop trying to tippy toe around it. This country is in deep shit, absolute deep shit, and we've all got to do something about it. We'll do it again, Paz. You're saying something useful, wonderfully true again. Oh, and by the way, Paz 49. If you're not subscribed to his channel, pop on over. It's a great channel. Another guy who talks an immense amount of sense, to be brutally honest. So let's get this up. Good old Piers flip flop. I'll say whatever I feel like is the right thing to say at that particular moment in time. Awful but understandable after two MPs were murdered. As I said, Rishi Sunak in a recent interview, it's time we gave MPs a full-time bodyguard. No, we didn't have this issue, did we, 20 years ago? But no, let's not address that issue yet. Let's just cover it over. Stick in plaster time. Well, is it great, isn't it? They insist on importing hatred, expect us to live with them while they get protected from them. Says everything, really. Amen. 100%. 100%. Good lad, Time Prophet. Seriously, Paz, yes, Paz is 100% spot on. Absolutely. Absolutely. Paz is bang on. Because he doesn't talk any crap. He doesn't take any crap. He says it as it is, and that's how it should be. To be fair, that's how we all should be. Because it's got to that stage now. It really has got to that time. What we genuinely need right now in this country. But they kind of, yeah, I fancy a brew, mate. Coffee, one sweetener. Can't do sugar anymore. Oh, by the way, just a quick one to go off on a tangent because we're talking about that. I had my second diabetic check yesterday, and 35. What happened in the comments? Basically, Daz, welcome. Thanks for joining. Labour wanted to have a motion about it. Guys, basically, it's Labour wanted not to vote, and they were scared about their MPs getting killed by the mob that were outside, who actually projected from the river to the sea down the spine of Big Ben, and that was allowed. And basically, the speaker got involved and caused absolute chaos. And basically, our entire democratic policy was destroyed to appease people who want to throw stuff, kill every Jew. And let's be honest, once they finish going with the Jews, we're all next. Basically, our politicians, our House of Commons collapsed under the baying noise of a mob. To violence and intimidation, they caved in. That's what happened. So, in any case, back to the thing. I'm all good. Let's just get that up there. Okay. I came here via Paz and glad I did. Thanks for joining me, Sheer War. Thank you for all of you. I mean, I've got this, to be fair, 30 odd viewers on YouTube. Awesome. I'm honoured that you've got to, you're spending time with me, listening to what I have to say, because you all got better things to do. Hit the thumbs up, please. Yeah, everybody do. MPs should live in the constituents they represent without protection. Well, the best thing is here in where I live in Solihull, I've got a new MP I never voted for because they changed the borders, and now I've got some Asian dude in Meriden, miles away, who doesn't even live here, who's now my MP in the House of Commons, and don't even know the guy. He's never voted for him. Don't know, but did I get any choice in the matter? No, of course I didn't. Really, really didn't. Daz, you're welcome. It was a bit crap, but I've been going on for nearly an hour about this. I can't find a British place at the moment. It bores my piss. Something fish. I completely agree. Absolutely massively. Every time I see, like last night, I mean, I saw it was. To be fair, I'm on several groups on Twitter, and it was started. It was John the White who I've quoted a couple of times. Started to bring up that this was happening because I was trying not to. I was doing. I think I was on Microsoft Flight Simulator at the time. Yeah, I know. And I just couldn't get my breath. The speaker should be unbiased, but he isn't. This is the problem. And to be fair to Penny Mordaunt, she actually came out and actually slammed him for what he did. What I might try and do, if I can do it, if I can bring it up, is I will.
The government's position.
Pause that. Let's get it up on full screen and let's pause it. I'm actually going to share it. This is what Penny Mordaunt had to say, but let's just go for the chat. Thanks for something. You're more than welcome. Problem with the UK right now, it's the people here. The people have this attitude if nothing is ever their fault. This is a problem. If you can blame people, it's easier, always easier to blame somebody else for your screw-ups. It's always easier to blame somebody for their screw-ups. Saturday people, then Sunday people. Our government are weak, and it's depressing me. I've never known our government be so weak. I've never known this country to be so weak. It's all right kicking up things. Oh, now we'll fight the Russians. The Russians could walk in here tomorrow. We've got nothing to stop them because most of our equipment is getting blown to shit in the Ukraine. And also remember, while we're living in this cost of living crisis, we're sending billions to the Ukraine, but we can't afford to perhaps give our doctors a little bit of a pay rise, just out of curiosity. Or we could pay a basic soldier more than 18 grand a year. That might encourage some more people to join. No, what we'll do is we'll reduce the security checks because, of course, nothing will go wrong with that, will it? Everybody hit a thumbs up now. Thanks. Be safe. I don't know who my MP is, but I wouldn't want to meet me. That's true. I would text him my new MP. WEF subversion. Completely agreed. Right then, let's get Penny up. And this is what she said after all this ridiculousness. Let's turn the volume up, and I'll just let you just listen to this for a minute.
I would like to stress that the government's position on Israel and Gaza remains.
I'm going to stop. I just remembered something that may help. Yep, just make sure I'm actually sharing the audio. That would be useful, wouldn't it? Right then, let's get back to where it was. Pull it back. I'll talk with the comments over the top of it, but let's all just have a listen to what Penny had to say.
I would like to stress that the government's position on Israel and Gaza remains unchanged, as my right honourable friend, the Prime Minister, outlined today. We want to see the fighting in Gaza end as soon as possible. We never again want to see Hamas carry out the appalling terrorist attacks that Israel was subject to. And we know that just calling for an immediate ceasefire now, which collapses back into fighting within days or weeks, is not in anyone's interests. We will be reiterating the government's position via a written ministerial statement. I fear that this most grave matter that we are discussing today and this afternoon has become a political row within the Labour Party, and that
I want to hear the point of order. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. And that, regrettably, Mr. Speaker has inserted himself into that row with today's decision and undermined the confidence of this House in being able to rely on its long-established standing orders to govern its debates. Long-established conventions that should not be impaired by the current view of a weak leader of the opposition and a divided party. Madam Deputy Speaker, I would ask that the Speaker take the opportunity to reassure all honourable and right honourable members that their Speaker, our Speaker, will not seek to undermine those rights in order to protect the interests of particular members, and that future Opposition Day debates will not be hijacked in this way. And I say this, Madam Deputy Speaker, for the benefit of all members.
So there you go. And that was absolutely right. She was absolutely right to say that. And that is absolutely, I mean, it's a part of her job, I guess, but she's right. I mean, don't get me wrong. So let's catch up with the chat. Well, that was it. You can't be homeless unless you're over on dinghy, correct? Plenty of ex-soldiers who haven't got homes. But of course, they're not important, are they? Don't Pishi Sunak give Mr. Sunak is our dictator, because remember, none of us voted him as in. I mean, no one, not even the own members of his own Conservative Party voted him in. He just got put there. The penny drops. So the thing. Why do these lunatics think a vote in Parliament is going to affect the war footing of a nation across the other side of the world? Insanity. It is, because as I keep saying, it's got nothing to do with it. Look, I don't know how many times I've got to say this, and perhaps the leaders of the world need to understand this. The simple truth of the matter is Hamas jumped over the border. It kicked the hornet's nest. The hornets are now coming back to sting them. They can't complain. And the simple truth of the matter is Israel is not going to listen to anyone. They're going to do what they want to do. Okay? They are going to do what they want to do. And in reality, no matter how many people all over the world vote for it, nothing's going to happen, because they're not going to back down. They're not going to back down. And the thing is, if this had happened to your country, whichever country you live in, if something like that had happened, this country, well, I'd say, ideally, this country would do the same. If you do that, people are going to react, and they're going to react violently, correctly, because that shouldn't happen. I love this pontification. Oh, well, they shouldn't do that. So if that happened to us, you'd do nothing. Mind you, then again, most of the idiotic twats on the left, sorry, but they are, probably wouldn't. They'd look to ugly muggers like me to do it for them, like they used to. Like they sit carrying behind there, sniping at you from the background. The good news is your president did not say tools down, everyone out, leave service animals, civilians, weapons, equipment right there for brutal opposition, your political leaders. Well, this is true. This is what happened in Afghanistan, where we, after all that work and hard work and all those wonderful, brilliant soldiers who died and bled on that foreign field, we just fucked off and left them all the equipment and made them the fourth largest army and best equipped army in the world. Very nice of us. I just thought it was more than virtue signaling. It achieves nothing. It doesn't achieve anything except for the fact that now, because, hello, Plastic African, welcome, because they did that last night, that now will signal to all those violent free plasticine mob outside that if we could use violence and intimidation, this country will do everything that we say. That's what's wrong with it. That's why it may be virtue signaling, but the signaling was sent correctly to the people who are out there being the violent, disgusting mob that they are, including a load of people who were white, who walk around with no idea, just thought they'd join in because they think they're fucking being funny or clever. You know, rich people have got nothing better to do. It's just unbelievable. Israel is not breaking any rules of war for 1,000 mile away, feeling safe. If it was England, what would do? Exactly. You or I would do the same. Someone idiot to my friends and family and people I live with, I'd pick up a gun and go fight them. I would. I'd go find them. Because you would. Because that's what people do. Being afraid. And easy said than done. Your political leaders do slightly better, but did your Secretary of the Defense go in hospital? No one knows why and who's running the US military. Unfortunately, in the United States of America, you're screwed because, for one, your president literally doesn't know what day it is, and he's the leader of the free world, and he has a lot to answer for this Israeli Gaza crap. More running in Israel is Samson Accord. They lose, they bring it all down. Exactly. Exactly. English will come out and have to fix this problem. The people of elite ruling class, it's dawning on them that they're not special and the police are not. Right, okay. There to protect them. Right, they're not. Mainly because the elite have made sure that there aren't enough police to do the job. Well, there is for them, but not for us lot. Why should Israel listen to the people who did not? Exactly. This is what it cracks me up. To fix the problem, we need the English, Welsh, and Scottish to join together. The thing is, we can, but that's the reason why they keep us divided. That's why they keep us arguing amongst ourselves. Is anyone switched on to this? Racism, sexism, all these things that are done, trans and all this, it's designed to tear us apart so we won't come together, because once we do come together, we outnumber them. They seem to forget that. Well, no, actually, they don't forget that. They know that. That's why they keep dividing us. Chase around via Twitter to Rumble fan the action. Welcome, John. I've shared a couple of your tweets, mate. Sorry for the bad spelling. Never apologise. It's easy done. Yeah, but the UK sorts out, and the English and much more of the others. The English have to lead this. Yeah, I suppose. But that's only because, absolutely right, last night it signalled a green light to the free plasticine Islamic nutters. I expect trouble here now because they think they have free reign. They keep having those bloody marches in London and nothing is done. Come on, Shield Wall, and everybody else who's here. If we all went outside now as white people and we went out with signs saying, English for the English, the police would be out in force. We'd all be kettled. They'd be out in riot gear. They'd be out with the sticks. They'd be out with the shields, and we'd all get the shit kicked out of us because we've seen it happen 1,000 times before. So if they're allowing this because they're massively outnumbered, if they're allowing this, then why? I don't think the wokies realise they won't get any brownie points when it all kicks off. That's the problem. They think by appeasing these people, a bit like the Black Lives Matter riots in America, where they put signs up, we love BLM and all this. They've put them in there not because they supported that, because they think that by appeasing them, they're going to leave them alone. It doesn't work like that. Yeah, they're just using you. You're useful to them until your usefulness is over, and then they'll turn on you too. If I was in charge, they would only stand in dirt. It would be hard to hide tunnels. Correct. As the British public have been hobbled by our own laws, have been turned into weaponized against us. Correct. Absolutely spot on. Hate speech laws never get used on any other democratic within Britain, no matter how we run it. Spot on. That's the problem. Laws and rules have been enforced, but only ever work one way. That's spot on. If there's a civil war, do we have to stick to the 20-mile-an-hour speed limit? Yeah, we'll get there slowly. Yeah. No, they don't. That's the virtue, guys. The hardcore Islamics are quite small, and they're in areas are contained. Disagree. I could take you down. I can pick up the GoPro, take you down to Small Heath, and show you if you don't believe it. Last night from the river to the sea was fixed on the side bin. Yes, John, I put that up straight away. That was the very first thing I put up. They will be in no man's land yet. Whilst outside MPs fretted to come up with the wording they thought we could vote for that wouldn't get them attacked by the extremist constituents. That's their own fault. They've kowtowed to these people. They've bowed down to these people. They've done these things. They've pulled it in. They've appeased their constituents. And as I just said, and those constituents used those MPs until they become useless. And now they're doing what they were there for. I have no sympathy. I'm sorry, but I don't have any sympathy, because we're at breaking point now. We'll be at breaking point, and this is not going to go good. It really isn't going to go good. I'll tell you what. So, shall we all start running a book on how long this particular video will stay up on YouTube? I know it'll stay up here on Rumble. All governments under the shadow government. Indeed. Welcome, Esther. Repercussions, reverberations are not fully understood yet, but they will be very significant. They are. Divide and conquer. Correct, Esther. That's exactly what they do. Thoughts on reform. We must ask these two parties somehow. They sold us out. Right. My personal opinion, reform, reclaim all these parties. Especially reform. Controlled opposition. Because if a party genuinely stood up for the things that people really genuinely want changed, they'd be got rid of. They wouldn't exist. They'd be turned. I mean, you can go all the way back to, like, I don't know. So, although, the BNP, yeah, Tommy's group, they're ostracised. You're not going to get it. as far as I see it, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But as far as I'm seeing, if a group of people are a political party and they're allowed to exist, yeah, they're controlled opposition. Just for instance, take the lady who took charge in Italy. How she was going to do this, going to do that, going to do this, going to that. She got into power. She's done fuck all. Controlled opposition. Be careful. I fear that Reform is another Tory party. Even if you voted them, they won't get in because the first past the post. Yeah, okay. First past the post is always going to screw everybody over. So proportional representation should be included. But the problem is, as I said, I see Reform as just another a controlled opposition. Sorry, to me, it's just controlled opposition. Sad. But the problem is, what can we do? There is, and let's be honest, when it all comes to it, the infiltration is well underway. I have no sympathy either. Corbyn goes in the cat go over oil. Yep. But this has been going on for years and years and years. And people have been telling you this, but we're evil. Yes, you're absolutely right. Being with the police would turn on us if we protested, but Italian sports with 60s and 70s seem to see what's going on. I'm 63. Sure, war, I'm 55, 56 this year. Yeah. And you know why? Because as you get older, your brain actually can see shit like this happening because it understands. Photograph of stupid protest that's anti-Israel. Correct. Same snakes, two heads. Correct. Your cell phones devices hold them low. You hit, make bad phone. Yeah. The thing is, John the White, in spring 1979, 6 months before she won the general election, Maggie Thatcher, close friend and campaign manager, Harry Nevey, was murdered by the IRA car bomb. I remember that. I was only young, but I remember all that sort of stuff. Can you imagine how history would have been different if they had intimidated her into taking office, wanted to appease the IRA? Margaret Thatcher did a fair few things wrong, but the one thing is, let's be brutally honest, when she was in power, no one fucked with the UK. And she was a leader. Something was sorely missing. Sorely missing. Well, Boris was singing all the right tunes until he got caught COVID. He returned as a puppet. Boris was all bullshit. Sorry, that was smoke and mirrors, mate. He blew smoke up everybody's asses, like a bunch of idiots. We believed him. And then once he got into power, like they usually do, off they go. Good afternoon, Gobster, everyone. Hello, Yvette. Nice to meet you. Do not comply, do not vote. It's the oath of Satan to worship. Well, we don't vote. And I've said this, I've actually saved it on Twitter. I foresee the next British election to be the lowest turnout ever because most people just won't bother turning out. Unfortunately, that means people are still going to get in. True, my kids are as woke as shit. They just laugh at my genuine concerns. It's sad, isn't it? But that's the education system for you, or the brainwashing department, as I call it. Now, I educate my kids as well. My kids won't turn out woke, and none of them have so far. Because although I don't dictate. We have discussions, genuine, open discussions, where I show them where they're wrong, because that's what needs to be done. John, I'm about to share another one of your posts. The wealthy can afford private security, so defund the police is a good thing or neutral for them. Then they think it would. The thing is, it's all right having private security, yeah, but if there's 5 private security and 6,000 other people, your 5 private security are worth shit all. I'll be honest. Tony Case, John, let's get this one up, mate, because I'm going to share this one for you because it needs to be shared. Because what you're saying is absolutely spot on again. Let's get it up. Price of politicians' failed policies comes home to roost. Correct. Any MP who will buckle to threats against their family should resign today. Correct. The rest, get a stab vest and a spine. 100% correct. Duty is not without consequences. Ex-soldier, understand that 100%. Hard times are ahead, and it's not for the weak. We need real leadership. Yes, we do. But the problem is, from where? Where is this leadership going to come from? The wealthy, they're kicked out, and once they have no influence over the people. Correct. I agree. We must vote. The whole point of demoralisation is to get voters to feel as if their vote is wasted. It's only the voice we have left. Again, absolutely correct. Well said, Daz. I was always taught by my dad, you must always vote, son, because if you don't vote, you have no right of complaint. Problem is, who the fuck do you vote for? I believe in Boris, but Farage gave me no choice but to vote for him. Fair enough. Nobody to vote for. Actually, this is the problem, isn't it? When it all comes down to it, this is the biggest problem. We don't have anyone to. Who are you going to vote for? Who is going to save us? A leader, right or wrong, his or her ideas, position, do not flip flop. Thing is, you have got to have courage and conviction as a leadership. Boris wanted to charge 1 million for the interview. True. I agree. We have to vote. It's even if it's a protest vote. Yeah, and I don't like that question either. I wish we had a randomly determined choice of the ballot that might be where. I just don't. I genuinely don't know where this leader's going to come from, because to be the leader that we need, you're going to be hated, genuinely hated, because you're going to make decisions. You remember a parliament affirmation, and then they're under say, well, say to, yeah, well, the evil is definitely growing. It used to hide in the background. Now I think it's clearly clear and plain to see for everyone. I really do. It's just unbelievable. It's just unbelievable. Here you go, another one. Share this one. I'm going to keep sharing these things. I should really think about bringing this one to a close. It's been a long one, but it's been great because of all you wonderful people in the chat. Thanks very much for all popping on over. Let's get this one by Isabella Hardman. Hoyle's well-meaning attempt wasn't well-meaning. He caved. Has offered an incentive to campaigners to keep intimidating its members. Correct. Neither Parliament nor political parties have worked out how to deal with the new era of mob politics. They're going to have to learn. Too late. It's too late. Last night will have just emboldened them. Pure and simple. Let's get our leader Biden for someone else. Exchange program. Thanks, Yvette. Hope your mum is okay and hope you're doing okay as well. A nice religious discussion going on there. That's absolutely fine. Look, when it comes to religion, you believe what you want to believe. It's cool. It's fine by me. Personally, I'm leaning reform. I agree they control our position, but they appear to be the best of a bad bunch. Well, to be fair, Daz, I think that's yeah. Oh no, let's not get all religious. My grandfather said Neil Bolty voted against some. Yep. Thank you for letting us let off some steam. Welcome. I'm going to try and do a few more of these more often because I think we all need some chance to get our voices heard. For as long, I mean, for as long as YouTube let me check my channel before somebody crocks onto this one and probably nukes that. But I am here on Rumble. I'm also on Locals and Twitter and X and all the description. All the things are in my local thing. No one from the people will ever get into Parliament. They're related. Well, absolutely right. I dread Labour getting in. I think everybody does, but unfortunately, it looks like they're gonna, because it is the way it is. Conservatives started it, and Labour will finish us off, guaranteed. And that's how I see it. In any case, I left the UK 30 years ago. It breaks my heart to what happened there. Successive governments over the last 40 years causes mess. Correct. I'm not religious, but I know there's a creator, maybe a computer programmer. If it's a computer program, he's got a very sick sense of humour, any Dave. Let's be honest. I'll join streams regularly. This has been enjoyable, to say the least. Thanks, Daz. Thanks for joining. I'm glad you popped on over. Really am. In fact, I'm glad all of you. I mean, 42 at the moment. We've got 42 viewers on YouTube. Thanks so much for every single one of you coming over, and if nothing else, listening to me rant and giving you a chance to get out how you feel, because I think we need to do this more often. We need to get chances for people to actually air their views. Really do. I think the next parliament will be chaos and the new parties will emerge. I think so. Labour is too big to survive as it is. It will split. Agreed. I think there is going to be a big political shift, but unfortunately, we're all going to suffer while they sort themselves out. And the problem is when we have splits and weak chaos, that's when the evil can get in even more. And that's what I worry about more than anything. Genuinely do. So, first time I've seen you. Thank you, Em. I do it. Believe it or not, originally this was I used to talk about Doctor Who and shit like that. but that's gone to the by now, and because this is more important, I'm doing more of that. I'm doing more of this. My channel, if you go on back on my channel, you'll see how everything started to drift off this way because this is more important. Yeah, I mean, I can get loads of views talking about Doctor Who and sci-fi and things like that, and I don't get as many views talking about this. But we need more people talking about this. We really need more voices. Too many in the silent majority are not doing anything, and we need to start speaking out. We need to start making our voices heard. We need to have places where people can come on and say stuff like this. Extremists won't settle for Starmer's scraps and will do more to anyone to bring down the Labour government. Problem is, what happens if they create their own party? What happens if they create their own party and that gets in? There's a genuine threat. That's something that people aren't thinking through. I am. I've seen it. I can see it coming. I can see the Labour Party splitting and one part becoming a Muslim party, and they'll get in. Because if we don't stop the immigration, there's going to be more. And as she's clearly seen, that way they'll do the politics is if you don't do as we say, we'll threaten you, promise to kill you. That's what we got to see. Yeah, well done, John. Yeah, it's exactly what will happen. Exactly. That's why last night needs to be seized upon as the issue. Our parliament fell apart because of appeasement, because of threats, and because of intimidation. This will create the opportunity for a Muslim party to be created. And then we'll have them in charge or them influencing. And we will be in even more trouble. Silent no more. Wake up, Britain. You're sleepwalking off a cliff. Amen. We are sleepwalking off a cliff. Unfortunately, I don't know how many we can wake up before it gets too late, if it's not too late already. It's not people having 10 kids, English people only have 2. They will in the end. Yeah, they're outpopulating us. I can see that when I go to pick my kids up from school. Hervis told me, well spoken, finally another voice, not afraid to speak out. Something definitely. Thank you, Hervis, and welcome. Thank you very much. I'm in London. It's Islam. I do feel sorry for you. I went down to London back in there. Last time I went back was like 1998. It was nice. It's not now. I wouldn't dare go into London. You could pay me $1 billion and $1 billion quid, and I'd still stay away. Yes, the Islamic Party is a threat to national security. Yeah. And talking to security, of course, remember we've just jumped up to severe in our warning level. I will give it a few more before that jumps into critical. We're in trouble. We are genuinely in trouble. I'm not afraid to speak out. Not anymore. We need to get out. There is a reason the Middle East struggles to maintain any functioning democracy. Spot on. If we ever need an example of what happens, we just look there. It's a perfect example. I'm in London. It's scary out there. Jack, welcome. Stay safe, please. I do fear for you. But then again, to be fair, Birmingham's becoming Stabistan as well. Loads of kids get stabbed around here. I'm terrified when my kids go out. I genuinely am. I'll never go to London again. How sad is that? It is. Because London is a lovely place. Well, it was once. What's your opinion on Paris things and the protests? Welcome, Caislan. If we're talking about the farmers, again, the thing that the media won't cover, 100% right behind them. They're trying to take farmers' lands off them because if they can do that, they can starve us as well. We need to start waking up and realizing that people are plotting against us and we're inconvenient. Now, if they can't starve us and can't get us to eat a different way and can't price us out of being able to walk, we'll just kick off a third world war because that'll get the population down, won't it? It's terrifying when you look at it and you think about it. France and Germany are even bigger trouble. Look at European politicians. EU is taking a tough line against Hamas. Too late. Much to Joe Biden's frustration. Yeah, because Joe Biden's got a shitload of money invested in it. It's like he's got a shitload of money invested in the Ukraine. Like most of the world leaders, that's where all our billions are going and giving us nothing. As you can see, I'm pretty anti-Ukraine war as well. Mind you, I'm pretty much anti-war any case. It's not a pleasant thing. It really isn't. It genuinely is a horrible thing. I just don't know why why people are just. Oh, what's this? Oh, it's Lawrence Fox saying, judging by the number of MPs turning up for work today, one could be forgiven that the cretinous blobs thought they were voting for a pay rise. But no, Gaza draws these vampires out. Perhaps we should move our parliament there. And it's true because there are pictures. If you look on YouTube, not YouTube, on Twitter, when they're voting for our problems, there's no one there. House of Commons is absolutely packed solid today. And they're just going to carry on talking shit when they're not realising that they're fucked. And so are we. They brought immigrants ready to go to work and see us. Correct. That's exactly what we want. My family saw the light and left London in the 60s. I'm so glad they did. I've never been back. All my relations are dead now, thank goodness. It's a shame, innit, when we have to live. The Biden family's been trying to get sanctions raised on Iran so they can exploit it instead of Russia. Correct, 100%. 10% for the big guy. I'm in Dover, and over the years, he's getting more and more dangerous. Jesus, mate, you're in the worst place possible. You're in Sword Beach, ain't you, mate? Jesus. 2:30 a.m. here. I've got to get some sleep. All the best. She's wishing you. Thank you, Old Peculiar. Thanks for popping in. Go get some sleep, mate. Biden will recognise a Palestine state. 100%. Of course he will. Of course he will. Because that's what he's there for. And that's why they want to stop Trump. He's risen against Lawrence Fox pretty hard. Almost Trump levels. Well, yeah, because as much as it inconveniences everybody, he's talking the truth. The truth hurts. They don't like the truth. He also needs to appease extremists in the Democratic Party. Absolutely right, John. He really does. He really, really does. And the problem is, he's that senile, he doesn't even understand it. He really genuinely doesn't understand it. Last chance to replace him is August, correct. And wouldn't be surprised if that's exactly what happens. Genuinely. Unbelievable. Right then, ladies and gentlemen, it's up to 1 hour, 23 minutes. It's currently 1:30 here in the UK. I'm going to need to go and have some. I'm just down the road from New Hervey's, Folkestone area here. Head on a swivel constantly, mate. Jesus Christ, Daz. You're on Gold Beach. Bloody hell. Front line indeed. Front line indeed. Any case, I'm going to need to bring this one to a close. Need to go and have some food. Now, Lundy's as scary as the stabbings in Roban things, sadly. Occasionally, it's the same here in Birmingham. Birmingham's just, I'm literally just down the road for Birmingham, and it's shit everywhere. Any major city now is stabbed down. And as I've said before, sadly, we haven't got anyone left to protect us. Yeah, the real question is, who is in Celebrity Big Brother? By takes big. Oh, yeah, good point. Hello, David William Big. Hi. You just joined me as I'm about to bring this one to a close. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you, all of you, genuinely, all of you in the chat who have been absolutely fantastic. Thanks so much for giving me your points of view. I try to do that on my streams, and I'll do it more when I do more streams. I want you to have the ability to say something. We all need to unite here. If we make a change, stand us. But a lot of us are still asleep. Yeah. So it's time to make our voices heard, and let's wake people up. It's going to be painful. I mean, I know I'm going to get a lot of flack for this because you always do as soon as you lift your head above that parapet wall. But no more. No more. We need to unite. We need to wake people up, and we need to start realizing if we don't do anything about it, if we don't make that change, our leaders in the House of Commons are they're useless. Absolutely useless. I'm in Peterborough, don't go anywhere now. Sad. Delphi Junction, welcome. Certainly Camilla's, God, she would be nice. Camilla Harris is just, she's even more mentally unstable than Biden. Thank you, mate. Love stream. We'll definitely see you again. Thank you, Shield Wall. Last shout out there. Dave's got a new chime and he's got a thing. Thanks for the stream. Take care. Cheers, mate. Have a good one. And you, thanks so much for joining me. It's been an absolute blast, and I've enjoyed it, and I'm glad you've all had the opportunity to get your opinions out there, and I'm grateful for every single one of them. So, with that, I'm going to bring it to a close. Thank you so much for watching. Wherever you go out, raise your voice, wake people up. Whenever you catch up with this playback, I hope you have a wonderful morning, afternoon, or evening. And with that, and as always, and until the next one, I am going to love you and leave you.